I will return to a state of...
Thanks for all you've done, Val.
Acknowledged. Prepare yourself.
Don't worry, we lost last time, but I know that's not all.
I eagerly...
Looks like he went to sleep.
So, this is what the Great Ashen Night looks like. I've heard all manner of rumor about it, but I never...
I can't possibly begin to thank you enough. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come to my... And that goes for everyone else. Thanks for coming to Red.
Just don't scare us like that again.
True.
And yet you somehow managed to come out unscathed with Her Highness in tow.
You make it sound like it was easy. Well, easy or not, it was worth going on. So funny enough, I'd say their invitation worked to my benefit more.
I guess there's no harm in looking at the positives now that all's...
Look at you, acting...
I'd like to follow Reen's lead. And, dear, though I never...
We did time our appearance fat. My only regret is that we weren't able to blow in with a storm of rose petals. Perhaps I should have asked Emma to look into the field.
Oh, man! That would have been...
Well, it's probably not
Now you're just being silly.
Sounds about right.
Well, at the very least, I'd say we're clear of any... And given this opportunity, I'd like to sit down with you to discuss our situation and exchange any pertinent information. But first, I think we have a few more
Reen!
Toa! George! I thought I heard your voices when we...
You bet.
Whoa!
It's really... No sooner had we found out that you were still alive, we got told you had been taken by the Alliance. We've been so...
I'm a real trouble. Sorry, Toa. Everything I've said, and it's kept me going.
Oh, you promised me. We still need to...
See? Reen's a guy you can... Nice to see you're holding up. Still can't believe you made it through all that fighting in Trista in one piece, but...
Good to see you again, George. But how'd you two end up on...
We'll bring you up to speed once we all... There's a conference room on one of the upper floors. The Courageous began its independent operations right before Heimdall was first occupied. I realized what the Alliance was planning, so I gathered a skeleton crew, met with Vik, and we hurried straight to Trista, where we found your classmates locked in combat with the...
I see. That explains why you were in Trista.
I shudder to think what would have happened if not for the Courageous's timely appearance. What have you been doing since then, Father?
Eventually, we were able to shake off the edge, and we've been traveling around the country ever...
George and I haven't been here long. The principal managed to get in touch with the Courageous without anyone noticing.
He did?
I hope he's still alright. By the way, what happened to Major Vander? You two are...
Alas, his military obligations have him heading up this... They're working with your former instructor, Major... With him, too?
So he's over...
I should have known the 4th Armored Division's ace wouldn't get his ass kicked so easily.
All right.
Still, the west side of the country contains Marquis Hyarm's Sutherland province. Along with Duke Cayenne's Lemaire province, the fighting there would no doubt be even more fierce than it is.
Correct. A large percentage of the Imperial Army's military strength, but the Noble Alliance forces' constant attacks. On top of that, a number of townships in the region have been caught in the crossfire and suffered great losses.
That's terrible.
I'd heard as much, but it still pisses me off to hear it.
With the 3rd and 4th Armored Divisions, one can only assume the Noble Alliance intends to use that as an opportunity to crush the
Yeah, but they're not stupid. I bet the army in the west is putting up a pretty good fight by themselves. It's too early to call.
An astute assessment. The situation in the western...
Right. But that means we're uncertain what... And having said that, we have a question to pose to all of you. With the whole of the Empire caught in the throes, what exactly do all of you...
Us?
We were in the midst of discussing that when Reen was taken to the Pantagruel, in fact.
This is a full-on war, and our fellow Erebonian countrymen stand on both sides. No one here is delusional enough to think that a group of students like us are capable of stopping it by ourselves. Still, during our field studies, we found ourselves up against the problems this nation faced, and because we have that experience, I believe there's a place for us to change things in all this. A part only we can play. We may not be able to compete head-on with the Alliance, but together, we can move things in the right direction. Still, we aren't all gathered here for the be it rescuing Elise or settling things with Crow. We've all got something that but accomplishing those things won't be possible with the situation. And that's why, no matter how stacked the odds are against us, we want to put everything we have into making all the difference we possibly. I think I speak for every.
You bet. I agree completely.
We may all come from
Exactly. And what kind of class would...
As well as find our own.
As Reen said.
Sounds like it'll be a... no biggie. We're class 7. Throw in a few of Reen's trademark speeches. You all sound like you've really... And you guys aren't the only ones who feel that everyone at Thor's has something to bring to the table. Remember the Academy's motto? Arise, O youth, and become the foundation.
Oh, that was what Principal Van Dyke said.
The words of Dreikel's the Lionheart serve to inspire us to this.
Of course. They ring as true as ever.
It's like you didn't even have to think about it. You guys just knew.
Yeah, you should be proud. And it's true that Thor's students are scattered, but I'm sure that each and every one of them are...
I understand, Your Highness.
Indeed. I figured you would have already given it some thought, but I wasn't expecting such a stirring conviction. But I think this at least settles the matter of what course to take. If you would do the honors, Captain.
As you wish. We're about to do something neither side would ever expect us to do. We're going to entrust this ship to you. From here on out, the Courageous is yours to command as you...
What? What?
Father.
It means the operation of this ship will be... I imagine your journey to make a difference in this war needs a home base to begin from.
Well, yes, but...
But then what will you do?
We plan to disembark and make our way to the western provinces. Once there, we'll begin working with the 7th Armored Division and the other. The intention is to ensure that as few...
I was actually worried this airship might prove a bit too conspicuous to aid us, but with us headed west, we'd be leaving all of eastern Erebonia in your hands.
Wow.
I see. That does make the most logical sense.
Kinda. If we've got the Courageous, we could give...
I'm not even...
Well, it's fair to say I've learned a lot from the way the Guild's members handle things. Oh, and...
Yes?
I'd like to ask you to remain on board the Courageous. This ship is technically the property. It should give them a certain...
I'd be happy to. Henceforth, I, Princess Alphen... So do whatever...
Thank you.
Wow!
We're truly on...
No turning back now.
Yeah, seriously.
We hereby humbly accept custody of the Courageous.
Please, leave
You'll be counting... I'm leaving you in charge of the Courageous' day-to-day operations. I don't doubt you'll make...
Well then, it's time we bid you all chin up, Alphen.
May the goddess be with you.
I look forward to the stories you'll have to tell.
Good luck.
Well, there they go. You think they'll be okay on their own?
Only the goddess herself. Still, with some already calling this a second advent, I can only hope they make it.
Oh, they don't bear the symbol of the horned lion.
Yes, I suppose. And the same goes for me, too. I can't very well call myself a Thor.
Well, I'll be in touch with them plenty in the coming weeks, so don't worry. The Old Guard will do as it must to keep watch over... Speaking of the Old Guard, Chancellor Osborne was also a Thor's graduate.
Yes, he...
Was he now?
He and I may have had our differences. I'd like to express my...
I'm afraid I never have, but there's no doubt in...
Thank you.
Still, it must be tough for you with Heimdall under the... Were you able to find out where his funeral was?
Actually...
Captain?
Is something amiss?
It's just that I received a strange report on the... I was told his body was taken into the custody of the Imperial Guardsmen when the city... But then after... It simply...
Disappear?
Is it possible the reformist faction could have...
I'm afraid I don't know. It is possible.
It's difficult.
I'm almost... He had so many plots in motion. I doubt even his death put a stop to them all.
No change in weather or wind direction since entering Kreutzen provincial airspace.
We are currently cruising at a speed of 3. Nothing abnormal detected on...
Detour around the Twin Dragons Bridge. Take extra care that we aren't...
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Yeah, it's...
Indeed.
She still looks like a mascot.
That's just one of her...
Yeah, and besides, so today's the day we start our journey in...
Right. We settled what we'll be doing last night. Now all that remains... Well, Toa and George should be able to handle the day-to-day running of the ship, and whatever we decide, it's It's not. I think it's time we start hammering down exactly what.
In theory, the Courageous gives us the ability, but in reality, the Noble Alliance has control.
Yeah, we don't want to risk. We'd run the risk of being kept.
It's sad to think how we barely have anywhere we can.
Care to share your thoughts on this, instructor?
Oh, you kids can just... I lost the will to put in any effort after Captain Classy got off.
You slacker.
I'm pleased that you think so highly.
Maybe Laura can hook you up with a one-on-one lecture on the Arcade School of Courtsmanship, if you know what I'm saying.
I was kidding. In all seriousness, if you need more people fighting in whatever you end up doing, I'll be happy to help. Just don't forget that the Courageous, if you want my advice...
You almost...
Getting back to the matter, we don't need to decide everything right at this moment. What's it? Come again?
I assume what would be our overall goal, and the how would be a big...
It's a little...
You guys were doing the same kind of thing in the weeks before the Academy Festival, remember? The concert was what you were working toward, and all your other planning was how...
I see.
We did spend a lot of time.
Not to mention taking...
We were coordinating.
When you break it down, and we may have our own personal goals right now. But if we can wrap those up in...
How about making it something related to the Academy?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I wonder what's happening.
Toa, George. The Academy is currently under the Noble Alliance's control, right?
That's right. The staff and students who are there...
As you know, during the attack, a lot of the students managed to flee Trista and are now scattered across... Now, most of the upper-class students chose to stick it out, though. They've got no reason to fear the Alliance, being nobles and all.
All right, then. I think our what should be taking back the Academy.
That sounds good to me. The Courageous will serve as a good means of transport, but...
But with it, we can get a better look at the current state of things in Erebonia and try to...
And whatever information we learn along the way could bring us that much closer to
Can't see taking it. No doubt. It's near the capital, so its defenses are gonna be...
Still, I like it. What goal is...
Indeed. And if we actually manage to achieve it, the sky...
I'm genuinely moved by... Well, their optimism is probably their... We were thinking of something along the same lines, in fact, so it worked. And hey, if we all thought about it, so if you happen to... I'm not saying it has...
That's a...
Yeah, we'll be sure...
We have about the bare minimum crew we need to fly at the moment, but it's not like... I'm sure our current staff won't be here forever, so we're gonna need a few extra... Ideally, we could have whoever's here now stick around long enough to train...
I know our numbers are small right now, but the more people we can... And I don't know about you, but everything works.
I'd say that's our...
Agreed. We'll use the Courageous as our base, and as a way to get along the way, all for the sake of our...